Are we open? Are we ready for business? Are we live? What is going on, party people? Are we here? Are we ready? I don't know yet. I'm still waiting for the link to pop up. It's being a little bit slow. So maybe we're up, maybe we're down, maybe we're left, maybe we're right. I don't know. But here we go. If you guys have questions, post it in the chat. We're coming live from New York City. We're going to be here for a little while, here to answer questions. Any questions that you guys have, please do me a favor. Put a few question marks before your question. That way I don't miss them. And that way everything gets knocked out. So let me check to make sure we are up. We are open. We're ready for business. Let's see. What do we got? What do we got? All right, we are open. We are ready. Let's see who got the first place medal. The first place medal goes to Lightwork Resales. Second place medal goes to Blessed Patriots. Third place medal goes to NH Guy. First loser, Killishaw. I apologize about that, but we are in New York City today. I'm happy to help you with any questions you guys have, any information that you guys need. Post a couple question marks right before your question. Definitely hit the thumbs up. Let's try to beat a world record today on the thumbs up. And the world record is 850 thumbs up. The world record for the most amount of people is 753. Don't know if we're going to beat the 753 record today. It's a little bit early for the West Coasters. It's 7:30 in the morning on the West Coast, 10:30 a.m. on the East Coast. And again, make sure that you are clicking the notification bell, which is right here, I believe. Hit the notification bell right next to the name. That way, when we go live, you do not miss it. Because I am going to be going live at different times. I told you, if I'm out and about, I'm going live. It's going to get in where it fits in on Wednesday. So today it's getting in where it fits in. So make sure that we are hitting the like button. Make sure that we are making sure that we are here and we are available. So we got a couple of questions in the chat. So the PSA today for eBay sellers is Q4 has officially begun. We have to make sure that we are positioning ourselves in the correct way, so that way that we can have the absolute best Q4 that we absolutely can. So having the best Q4 that we absolutely can starts today, starts yesterday, starts in September, starts in October. We cannot have a beautiful Q4 if we start our Q4 prep in late December, late November. It doesn't work like that. So what do we do to make sure that we get everything prepped? We have to make sure that we are being consistent with our listings starting today. We need to get our items up on eBay. That way, when the buyers do come in a couple of weeks, couple of months, we have the items available for sale at that time. We cannot just, start listing a bunch of stuff on December 22nd and then think we're going to hit a grand slam home run as far as Q4 is concerned. We got to be consistent starting today. We need to build up our business today to make sure that we have as much items as possible on eBay when the shoppers do come. And we have to make sure that we are listing them in according to great keywords, great title structure, great prices, everything that we normally do. We have to make sure that we are doing that starting today. We have to make sure that we are getting all of packaging materials. We have to make sure, because as you guys saw, the docks over here in New York City, those guys are going on strike. The post office is going to slow up. They are understaffed, undermanned. They don't have enough hours to go around. Shipping is going to slow down. And if shipping slows down, if we need something that is important, it's going to take a little longer for us to get it. So we have to stock up on our poly bags. We have to stock up on our boxes. We have to stock up on all of our stuff, because the worst thing that can happen in Q4 is to run out of, pertinent products that we need to make sure that we get our job done. So the PSA for today is you have to be 1000% consistent starting today if you want to have the best Q4 as possible. The buyers are going to come. Is it going to be a hockey stick trajectory of humongous amount of buyers spending a humongous amount of money? I personally don't think so, but the buyers will be there. It will be better than the summertime. And in order for us to get the most amount of sales, we have to be consistent. And that starts yesterday or the day before or last week or last month. But if you're not consistent, get consistent now. and definitely make sure that you are ordering your packing supplies. If you have a little bit extra money, order an extra printer in case that goes down, so that way you guys don't miss a beat. Other than that, I hope everybody is doing well. I see some people filling in. We got Jewel here. We got Michelle from the UK. We got Hanley from the UK. We got Arwen from the UK. And that's why I want to come on a little bit earlier. That's why I want to come on at different times. Because when I come on late at night, East Coast, 8 p.m., it's too late for people in the UK. And, it's too early for people in Australia. So I'm going to come at all kinds of different times. So that way we can talk to all kinds of different people. And that way I can meet everybody, talk to everybody, and try to help as many people as absolutely possible. Make sure if you do have some question marks, put 3 or 4 question marks right before your question, because the chat is going to be popping and I don't want to miss anybody's question. So make sure you put some question marks down there. Make sure you hit the thumbs up. Let's try to beat a record. So first question we got is from Options. We got, is it beneficial to lower your price or increase promoted listings? I think both of them can have different benefits. So if you lower your price, you guarantee a lower price, which is a better deal for the customer. Can a lower price entice somebody to purchase your item? Perhaps. Increasing promoted listings can guarantee you placement, guarantee you eyeballs, but does not guarantee a better deal for the customer. So while decreasing the price will give the customer a better deal, and perhaps that could in turn end up being a sale, increase in promoted listings does not give the customer a better price, but it does give you better placement. And if you have more eyeballs on the item, perhaps you will get a higher percentage of a sale faster. If you have 1,000 more people looking at it, maybe one out of those 1,000 will click the buy button and you will complete the sale. Also, if you lower the price, if somebody searches lower to higher, you will get better placement versus keeping the higher price, but increasing promoted listings. So those are a couple things to consider. A lower price is a better deal. Maybe it entices the customer. A lower price gives you better placement in search if someone searches high to low. Promoted listings does not give a better deal to the customer, but it does give you more visibility and more eyeballs, where on average, perhaps it will convert just due to sheer brute force of getting as many eyeballs as possible. Thrifted Thread says, what does your wife sell on eBay? She sells clothing. She's had an eBay store for probably over 10 years now. She does her thing. I don't really know too much about what she's got going on. I know she lists every single day. I know she ships every single day. And that's about it. For me, I have my plate full with my own eBay machine at the time where I had world domination. She's consistent. She does pretty much most things that we talk about. Sometimes she does a little bit of her own things, but hey, as long as we can get most things, that's all we're happy with. What is your favorite New York City food? So I've been having a lot of pizza. So far, Roma's is the best pizza place that we've gone to, and the other ones that I've gone to haven't been as good, even though like they have a lot of claim to fame on the internet. Roma's Pizza is reigning supreme for me personally. Elio says, finally caught the live. Where are you? We are in New York City. This is the Chrysler building, which a couple months ago, the Chrysler building has defaulted on their ground lease with I believe it's Cooper Union, and I believe they owe them $21 million. So the way real estate works, sometimes if you have a triple net lease, you are leasing the ground and building the building on top of it, and you're paying rent to the person who owns the ground. So I believe it's Cooper Union that owns the ground that this tall building is built on. And they have defaulted since May, and they owe them $21 million. So I guess they're trying to work with them and trying to get something figured out. But this tall building here, it's got some big problems. I believe it is over 50% vacant. It is all office building. There's no residential in it, but it's over 50% vacant, I believe. And they're having big problems. So they have this building right here, which this tall one here, I'll turn the camera. This tall one right here is Jamie Dimon, who is the CEO of Chase Bank. And he's building that humongous one right there, and it should be done pretty soon. So there's buildings going up and there's buildings going under right back there. So, all right, very good. Do you guys update your documents in the group for brands and keywords over time? Also, is there a way to pay for the whole year off the bat? How you doing? 24/7 hustle. So yes, we do update the file section whenever there is a good resource that somebody finds or is identified. We do add that to the file section. We do update the deep dive document. I think like 15 new brands came live on that one today. And you can pay for the whole year. The biggest discount that Patreon allows me to offer, I believe, is 16%, and that's what I do offer. And if you do pay for the whole year, it's like getting 2 months for free. So it's a slam dunk. It comes out to like 60 cents per day, which is like, if you can't make more than 60 cents per day by being part of the group and being surrounded by thousands of people, then you're more than welcome to have a full refund. And like to date, we've given 0 refunds because the information doesn't work. So if you join on the monthly, it's $1 a day. If you can't make a profit on your $1 a day, then you're more than welcome to have a refund. If you do the annual, it's like 64 cents per day, I believe. If you can't make a profit on your 64 cents, then you are more than welcome to have a refund as well. We got Jewel from the West Coast up early. She showed a great one on the show and tell this morning. So congratulations. Good one for her. All right, where are we at? We have the chat has jumped. Make sure that you are putting in 3 question marks before, so I do not skip your question on accident. How long do you plan to do hats, or do you plan to do this for the foreseeable future? So I just do hats just for fun. If I had to do them to actually make a living, I would not do hats. Hats are very saturated. They sell through very slowly because they lack proper keywords to separate yourself or to distinguish yourself between every other hat listing. So that's why the sell-through is decreased or diminished. And everybody should look at their own category and see, are there a lot of keywords? If there are not a lot of keywords, then you will most likely end up having a decreased or slower sell-through. If you do have a lot of keywords, then you can create your separators and you can actually speed up your sell-through. So hats have a very slow sell-through. I'll probably do around $100,000 in sales, but other than that, it's just for fun, just something that I do just to stay busy. As you guys know, like I love to stay busy. I love have projects going on. I love having things to do. I still love selling stuff, but eBay world domination that's in the past. And I probably have like the longest streak in the entire world of daily listing. So like I want to be like the Cal Ripken of eBay. Cal Ripken, he broke Lou Gehrig's consecutive games played record. And I just want to be like the Cal Ripken of eBay. Maybe I can have the most consecutive days of listing and maybe never ever get it broke. So we're working on like 16, 17 years of every single day listing. So right now I just do 20 hats. It takes me about 20 minutes every single day, and I just do it for fun, and I still love eBay, so that's why. Tropical Treasure say we got the great green screen. We do. Beautiful green screen. We have increased our production budget on the YouTube machine. Thank you to you fine folks out there. You guys are giving us fantastic views. Over 2 million views in the first year. So we are pouring in a lot of resources, and this is one of them, the green screen. So thank you to you fine folks out there. How long did it take you to pick, pack, and ship 50 items when you were solo? I don't know. I didn't have a clock on me back then because I never thought in a million years that I would be coming on YouTube and talking about reselling to thousands of people every single week. So I never kept track of a lot of stuff back then. But I think roughly a minute to find the item, another minute to pack and print the label. So somewhere around maybe an hour, 2 hours, hour and a half, something like that. Vic says YouTube told me to say hello to you. How you doing, Vic? I hope you're doing well out there in Mississippi. I hope you made it through the storm all right, and I hope everything is doing well. We got bold finds in the chat. Shout out to James. I was just talking to James a moment ago. And big news in the UK, as a lot of people know in the UK, that last week or the week before. So let me just set the table for you. In the UK, the clothing sellers, they did it under the veil of sustainability and being environmentally friendly for personal private accounts. They had no fees when you were selling clothing for environmental purposes, being good, upstanding citizens for the world, to recycle your clothing, keep them out of the landfill. A couple of weeks ago now, all the personal accounts you can sell in every category except eBay Motors. And those items will be free insertion, no final value fees. And then yesterday, Vinted, which historically has only been for personal accounts, private accounts, if you have stuff around your house, you're not a business entity. The purpose of it was for you to sell your items. There's no fees on Vinted for the sellers. The buyer pays the fees. Vinted Pro has just come out, which is Vinted Professional. And now if you are a business, now you're able to sell on Vinted with no fees as a seller. So eBay and Vinted are kind of battling it out over there in the UK. With fees, no fees, so it is very interesting. And, apparently Vinted is taking some market share away from eBay in the UK. Otherwise, eBay wouldn't have made this decision to allow no fees for private personal sellers. And they are allowing 300 items on eBay every single month to be listed. And that's going to be fee-free. So we're going to have to see how it plays out. But me and James were just talking about that a moment ago. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens with eBay sellers. Are they going to move over to Vinted? Is the money the same color green on Vinted as it is on the eBay machine? Does Vinted have more visibility than eBay? Are items selling faster or for more money on Vinted? At the end of the day, we all got to do what's best for us. And, we're all resellers, and some people sell on Poshmark, Amazon, Mercari. Some people sell on Vinted, Facebook Marketplace. So long as the money is green, that's all that matters at the end of the day. Linda says that they just joined the group last week. Welcome. They don't understand how to check sell-through rate for eBay. Very good. So if you do a search on eBay and you type in, as an example, Nike shirt, it'll say something like 840,000 are available. If you use left-hand navigation and scroll down and click solds, that'll maybe say there's 300,000 sold. So in this instance, that data set is 90 days. So there's been 300,000 shirts that have sold in 90 days. Which comes out to about 100,000 shirts a month. So it's going to take 2.5 90-day cycles for the entire 800,000 items to sell through. So let's just do it with a simpler example. If there's 100 items on eBay and you click solds and 50 items have sold in the last 90 days, it's going to take 2 90-day cycles for all 100 of those to sell on average. It's not a guarantee, but it's on average. 2 90-day cycles is 180 days, which is 6 months. Now, if you have an item that you list and there's 100 active and 200 sold, then that means on average, this item will sell in 45 days. So it kind of gives you a gauge on how popular the item is and how fast you can expect it to sell. So if there's 100 active, 200 sold, this is a popular item. This is going to sell much faster. Versus 100 active and 10 sold, this is not a popular item and this is going to sell much slower. So we do have a lot of resources about sell-through inside of the group. If you go to the Start Here document, which I will link in the chat for everybody, we have sell-through rate explained. And on that video, I do go through how to get the sell-through rate figured out and all of that good stuff. So I will put that one in the chat for you, Linda, and there you go. Sell-through rate explained is on that sheet. Also on that, we have, full tutorial of all promotions, title structures, understanding the traffic page, and understanding your metrics, how to utilize buyer groups, newsletters, offers to watchers, the zip code call, how to identify brands in your area. We have it all over there. And Both Finds makes another great point. Don't forget, 1 thumbs up equals 1 sale. So if you want to get a sale, hit the thumbs up. It is scientifically proven that if you do give a thumbs up, you will get a sale immediately after. Lee from the UK, nice to see you as well. Ricardo says, what does it mean when you say an item sold for a certain amount plus shipping, sold for 20 plus $7.99 shipping, or 20 with the shipping within those 20? So when people say it's sold for 20 plus $5 shipping, that means the total price that the buyer paid was $25. 20 for the actual item, $5 for the actual shipping. If somebody says it's sold for $25 free shipping, it's still the same thing. $20 for the actual item, and whatever shipping was going to cost was built into that $25. So when someone says 10 plus $2 shipping, it was $10 for the actual item, and they charged $2 for the actual shipping. Mr. Exquisite says early and he likes it. I'm telling you guys, I will be going live at random times if I'm in random places. And today I'm in a random place. So we are going to go live at a random time. Turn on the notifications. It's right down here next to my name. There's a little bell icon. If you don't want to miss the live, you want to get your questions answered, hit the bell icon, and that way you don't miss the live. Mr. Exquisite, that's Home Depot doing some RA. All right, good luck over there. Should we do a store sale during Q4? That's totally up to you. Everyone has different kinds of strategies as far as their sales go. For me personally, I utilize an aged inventory markdown strategy where depending on how old the item is, that is how aggressive my markdown is going to be. So if it's maybe a little old, I give a little markdown. If it's very old, I'll give a larger markdown. And for me, I disregard year of time as far as considering the markdown. So if it is December and this item is time to get marked down, it's time to get marked down. I shouldn't have had it this long anyways. I have a blanket policy. It doesn't matter what month it is or what item it is. I've had it for too long, for a time frame that I have assessed as being too long, and the item's going to get marked down. So you guys can figure out what kind of markdown strategy you want. Some people do aged inventory. Some people do seasonal markdown. Maybe in the summertime, they mark down their jackets. Maybe in the wintertime, they mark down their swimsuits or vice versa. But that is the beautiful thing about running an eBay business and running a business in general, is that we all get to decide and figure out what kind of strategy we personally want to use. Are you still coming to Minnesota? I will be there one day, maybe in 2025. Sunny Girl says you have to get pizza from Lombardi's. All right, we will put it on the list. Mike says, can't thank you enough. Really followed your procedures recently, including revising my older listings, and it's resulted in my best month ever in September. Congratulations, Mike. Congratulations on your hard work and good work. And it's always good to revise those underperforming or older listings. You definitely want to assess the price, make sure that we're not above market. Maybe we read the market incorrectly when we listed it. Maybe we're 3 times above market, which is going to be difficult to result in a sale. We want to make sure that we're putting pertinent keywords in there. Maybe now there's better keywords. Maybe there are more important keywords. Maybe the trends have changed. Maybe cottage core is out and there's a different kind of core that we could use. We want to make sure our title structure is good. We want to double check our item specifics and make sure that there's no conflicting information in it, where the title says medium, item specific says XL, photo says small. That's all going to hinder the sale. So it is very good to go back and audit your listings and make sure that we can get them to a level where they are performing where they're supposed to be. How do I get the document that has the brand information? So we have the deep dive document in the group. We teach you how to do a deep dive. And if you submit your own deep dive into the deep dive document, which is community built, community based, then you can take part and you can get access to everything inside of the document. And even if you're a new seller, it's okay. We teach you how to do a deep dive. A deep dive probably takes all of 10 minutes. We show you how to fish. We just don't deliver you fish every single day. So the act and exercise of actually doing the deep dive is the most important part. The bonus that you get is access to hundreds of other brands that everybody else has contributed to the deep dive document. And then you can go in there and you can read through those, figure out sell through, figure out the proper keywords, figure out the proper items that do sell, the proper patterns, the proper nuances in specific brands that actually do sell. All that is in the deep dive document. Jason said, just had the best month ever. Thank you for the advice. Absolutely. Congratulations to you. KT Treasures in the chat. Good to see them. How are they doing? Chat jumped again. Sally is here. They finally caught the live. Very good. Make sure we're hitting that thumbs up button because We got to beat a record today, guys. 753. Sorry, 850 is the record for the likes. 753 is the record for the most amount of people here. I don't think we're going to beat the most amount of people record because it's too early for the people on the West Coast. They're probably working or thrifting or driving in the car. Primarily East Coast peeps and a lot of UK peeps today, which is great to see. All right, let's see how we go. Bold Fine says, Ms. Tech, I need to know phone or camera. She's camera. Camera is the only way to go, my friend. Camera is the only way to go. Let's see. Is there a way to see how many sellers for a particular item? Sellers, no, but individual items listed, yes, because some sellers may have 10 of a particular brand. So it'll tell you how many of that particular item is on eBay. It won't tell you that there are, 1,556 sellers selling 4,000 of this item. It will only tell you how many of that item is on eBay. Thoughts on eBay brand tape? Any good bulk deals on other brands? I have a huge fear of a box opening when shipped. We don't use the eBay branded tape. I know a lot of people do. So if you do use the eBay branded tape, post it in the comments down below or post it into the chat. I know a lot of people do purchase the eBay tape. I am very lucky at our flea market. There's a guy who comes out once a year. He has a great cardboard sign, and his name is Tim the Tape Man. And it says right on there, Tim the Tape Man, all tape $1. And underneath that, it says, this is the good tape, not the bad tape. So we trust Tim the Tape Man. We get a bunch of tape from him. We load up every single year, probably drop 25 bucks because it's the good stuff, not the bad stuff. And he has demos out there. He shows you the thin one. He shows you the thick one. He's got 3-inch tape. He's got 4-inch tape. Tim the Tape Man is a blessing. I don't know why he only comes out once a year, but he does. So we fill up with Tim the Tape Man at the flea market. So we don't have any experience with the eBay shipping tape. But while we are on the subject, make sure that we are doing our subscriber discount. It did reset on October 1st. This will be the last quarterly coupon for the year. If you do not use the quarterly coupon, I just put it into the chat. If we do not use the quarterly coupon, we will lose the quarterly coupon. And if you have an eBay store, depending on the size of your eBay store, is going to be what size coupon they give you. If you have an anchor store, you get $150 on an eBay coupon. If you have the smaller store, they give you a $25 coupon. So that link is in the chat. Make sure you go in there, you buy your tape, you buy your poly bags, you buy your boxes, you buy anything that you need. Because if you do not use the coupon, you will lose the coupon. How many items is it realistically possible to list per hour? So when I was in eBay world domination mode, the photographs were done in 30 seconds. Listing were done in about 20 to 30 seconds. So, it's entirely possible if your processes are streamlined. You're listing the same type of items. You are selling similar off of perfect listings to take photographs in 30 seconds and list in 30 seconds. And if you go all the way back to my very first video on YouTube, I don't have a ton of videos, so it's not hard to find. Just go back to the very first one. I do show you how I take photographs in less than 30 seconds, and I'm going very slowly, talking about it, describing exactly what I'm doing, and it's still way under 30 seconds. So the more like your items are, the more that you can sell similar off of your own perfect listings, the more streamlined your processes are, the faster you're going to be able to go. Shane says, thanks for everything. Consistency of listing. I do 3 a day when I have a good item. Is it okay to add a 4th here and there? Should I always do 3? Look, there is no punishment on eBay for listing more great items. So if you have great items, list it. Do 5 if you want. Do 7 if you want. If you have great items, there is no punishment on eBay for listing more great items. List your great items. How do you feel about the target shipping increase for the holidays? All right. I believe you meant USPS. How do you feel about USPS shipping increase for the holidays? I have great news for you, Jay Lisses. Just like death and taxes, the post office rates will go up 3 times every single year. They will go up on January 20th, on or around that date. If January 20th is a weekend, they will go up on the 22nd or the 21st. Every single year, they will go up on or around January 20th. Um, they will go up in the summertime, and they will also go up temporarily during the holiday season. And the holiday season is upon us. I believe it's going to go up on October 6th, and it will stay up until January after the holiday. So the shipping will go up 3 times a year, on or around January 20th, holiday increase, and then a summer increase. So the question to the chat, all of you fine folks, are you going to increase your shipping to keep up with the holiday rates? That's a question for you guys. Or are you going to absorb it and are you going to eat it? Are you increasing your rates or are you absorbing it or eating it? Which one are you doing? Options said, rest in peace, Pete Rose. Yeah, Dikembe Mutombo and Pete Rose clocked out on the same day. I actually sold an item to Dikembe Mutombo one time. It was an Atlanta Hawks jersey. It went to his house. Last name was Mutombo. I actually sold an eBay item to that guy once upon a time. Pete Rose used to have Pete Rose's All-Star Cafe in Boca Raton, Florida. I remember I went there for my birthday when I was 12 years old. And I remember Pete Rose signed my baseball at the Pete Rose All-Star Cafe. In the chat and in the comments, should Pete Rose be in the Hall of Fame? The all-time hits leader, Ichiro has more hits combined between the Japanese League and the American League. But the all-time Major League Baseball hit leader, should Pete Rose be in the Hall of Fame? He was caught gambling as a coach. Should Pete Rose be in the Hall of Fame? What say you? How are you enjoying New York? Pros and cons. New York is lovely. We went to a garage sale on an entire block last Saturday. It was on 44th Street. I'll have a video coming out there. Some of the stuff was expensive. Some of the stuff was not. Just like everywhere else in the universe, sometimes you go to a flea market, some stuff is expensive, some stuff is not. That's okay. We got to find the stuff that is not. So I found a great vendor there who was selling everything he had for $5. I was picking up $200 resale Ferragamo shoes, $5. I was picking up $500 John Barbados leather jackets, $5. I was picking up crazy cashmere, Burberry stuff, all fantastic brands from this guy, $5. Picked up over 50 items from him. We also got a Supreme North Face collaboration snakeskin jacket. Got that for $10 from a different lady. But that's the name of the game. Sometimes stuff is expensive, sometimes it's not. We have to identify the stuff that is not expensive. Later on that day, we were minding our business, walking on the street, and they have all these vendors that sell trinkets, I love New York stuff, maybe some fake Chanel purses, this and that. But there was a guy, he had a little rack of clothing, and on the rack of clothing, he had 2 Carhartt jackets. I picked up both jackets for $50, and I'm going to sell those jackets for about $200 each. And then also on the same day, we were walking up to Audrey Puente's house, and a lot of you guys know her. She is the weather lady in New York City, and she is also an eBay seller. And we were walking over to her place, and balled up in the gutter, literally balled up in the gutter, was a vintage liquid blue Grateful Dead shirt. So like that's a $50 shirt, $60 shirt, and that was just balled up on the side of the street that someone left behind. It was rain soaked from the night before, and there's money everywhere, guys. We just got to go out and get it. So we went to the 44th Street swoop sale. That was an entire block cleaned up. We had to send home a UPS box alone just from that, a huge box alone just from that sale. 2 Carhartt jackets on the side of the road from a street vendor. And then we literally found a vintage Grateful Dead shirt balled up in the gutter. Like, what a time to be alive. Does using stock photos for eBay listings and is using stock photos for eBay listings an issue? It is, unless you have the express written consent of the brand owner that you do have permission to use the stock photo. Stock photos are not allowed. That is a good candidate for a policy violation or a Vero takedown. Stock photos are not allowed unless you have the express written consent of the brand owner or the owner of the stock photo. So if you do have stock photos, You could do whatever you want to do, but I'm sitting here telling you, I would never use a stock photo because I do not want to put my eBay account at jeopardy. There is no gray area. Stock photos that you do not own or have the permission to use, you are not allowed to use those on eBay. A lot of people do use those. However, a lot of people speed, but not everybody gets caught. Um, is there a keyword limit, or is it okay to use as many as you want? The only keyword limit that they do have is 80 characters in the title. So you can use as many keywords as you wish. You just have to make it fit in to the 80 character limit. Is everything okay back home with the storm? Thank you for asking. So we live in South Florida, kind of by the Miami area. So for us, we were basically untouched. North Florida really got hit. That's where it made landfall. Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, they're not, as accustomed to dealing with that amount of rain and wind. So like they have been really affected. But like my rental properties are up in North Florida. So my mom went around, she checked on those and she reported back that everything is good, just a lot of branches down, which is not a huge deal. But in South Florida, we didn't hardly get any rain, any wind or damage. So we got lucky this time. And I saw last night, I don't know if you know, I'm talking to my wife here. There's another hurricane coming. Same exact way almost. So that's life. Um, trying to do my own thrifting YouTube videos. Any advice? Just get started. Get started. Get started. My videos by design are not perfect. They're not highly edited. They're not fancy. My podcast back home, I'm sitting in an empty room. I use this microphone. I use this camera built into the computer to show you guys, to show you guys, to show you guys that you do not need anything fancy. You just need to get started and you just need to do it. Could I have all this fancy, awesome stuff in the back of my podcast room? Absolutely. I have nothing by design. Could I have a nice, fancy web camera? Absolutely. I don't. I use the built-in. Could I have a professional, Rode microphone? Absolutely. I do not. I use these ones that came with my cell phone. We do not need anything to get started. This is my phone that I use to make the videos with. It has a cracked back. It's a Samsung. Just get started. You do not need anything special. You just need to get started. Could I have a fancy camera? Yes, I don't. I have a cell phone that I shoot the videos on. I edit it on free software on this computer. I edit it in iMovie. I have nothing special, nothing fancy. I'm just getting started and I'm just doing it. I'm just being consistent. Where you stored your inventory, was it air conditioned? It was not, but so long as the air is moving and I have stored items not in air conditioner for probably close to 10 years, I have never ever had an issue so long as the air is moving. So I always have fans blowing, keeping it moving. Once the air gets heavy, gets stagnant, gets stale, that's where you're going to have some problems. But so long as the air is moving and so long as you're selling your items and they're not, sitting around forever, you won't have any problems. So I never had an issue so long as the air was moving and circulating. Delilah says, hit the thumbs up like button. Please hit the thumbs up like button. We are sitting here trying to beat a record. Where are we as far as thumbs up going? Are we doing all right? Are we doing horrible? Where are we at? What percentage sales should I do for old stock for about a year in my store? That's going to be up to you. That's a personal preference. You need to figure out why those items are not selling. Is it because nobody wants them? Is it because the listing is incorrect? Is it because the price is incorrect? If nobody wants them, we need to maybe decrease the price and make it more enticing. If it's never going to sell, maybe we take it off of eBay and we recoup our money by having a flea market or a garage sale, or maybe we just need to redonate it. But the percent that you're going to offer off is going to be up to you. There is no one size fits all for what percent you should mark it down. Because if I say a certain percent and you lose all of your money, that doesn't really work for you. So first and foremost, we need to have a very good fundamental understanding of all of our numbers. If we do not understand our numbers, then you better think twice about doing promoted listings and doing any sort of promotions or markdowns, because there are a ton of people out there on eBay promoting themselves out of business. So we have all of that information in the group for how to learn your numbers, how to do promotions. But as far as what percent, That's just going to be a personal preference for you. Um, Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Thoughts on multi-platform listing apps for Android. So me personally, I've never cross-posted, so I don't have any experience with it. So I don't know. I've never done it personally myself. A lot of people just making the live for the first time. That is very, very good to see. Like I said, I want to go live at different times to talk to different people. I want to try to reach out and help as many people as I possibly can. So Rob says, what a bonus getting to watch live from the UK. Absolutely. How long did you run eBay solo until you got help? So I didn't get help until COVID hit, which COVID was in 2020. So I ran it solo from 2008 until 2020, so for 12 years. And in 2019, I have it, I think 2018 actually, I have it on my Instagram. If you scroll back a little bit, again, I don't post a lot on Instagram either. Maybe it is time for a new post, my yearly post. Um, on Instagram in 2018, I did $1.2 million, and that was solo, rocking and rolling, getting after it. After I started hiring employees, built the business to $5 million after that. But in 2019, did $1.2 million. That is on the eBay machine. I don't know, just getting after it, man. That's all we could do. Um, do you like Whatnot? I think Whatnot can be a great platform. I think there's a lot of people doing very well on Whatnot. If you look at the podcast that we did with Rinzi a couple of weeks ago, he's doing absolutely fantastic. His goal is to do $2 million. He's doing 111 auctions per hour. I mean, even if the guy's only making $10 per item, he's making over $1,000 an hour, and he's making, $15, $20 per item. So like he's doing fantastic. There are people on there doing fantastic, but there are people on there that, are doing high revenue and making no profit. And, that is a business model as well, but that's not one that I subscribe to. I don't subscribe to high revenue, no profit. I subscribe to, lots of profit. And for me, that's the way to go. The gentleman marketeer, that's Simon. I want to give a shout out to Simon. My man Simon this week had his first 1K sales day, 1,000 pounds on the sales day for Simon. So shout out to Simon. Simon says, you always win at whatever you do. I am trying to win as well, but struggle to win at looking after myself. Is this just down to effort or schedule? I think it's down to both. And Simon, you see the morning calls every single day on the morning call. I'm doing the morning call from the treadmill. So I get about 15 miles a day on the treadmill, and then whatever an additional I do after that is extra. So I like to get between, somewhere around 20 miles all said and done. That's the ultimate goal. But it takes a good 3.5 hours just to get the 15 miles on the treadmill. And if I had to do a dedicated 3.5, 4 hours on the treadmill only, I wouldn't be able to fit it in because there's not enough time in the day. So that's why I do the call on the treadmill every single day. And then after I'm done with the call on the treadmill, I start some other work, some computer work. So I do all of my computer work and I do the call from the treadmill every day because I gotta, double up and multitask. Because if I didn't do that, I wouldn't be able to get the miles in that I want. So it is about schedule, and it also is about effort, because a lot of times, I wish just to do the live call from the bed or from a recliner slouched down, but I don't do the live call from a recliner. I do the live call from the treadmill. I'm up getting it in, getting after it, and that takes effort. Sal says, you say you worked every day for 15 years and made millions. My formula will be work every other day and make half of that. Still a win. Hey, a win's a win, man. So for us, we wanted to work as hard as possible until my son graduated high school. He graduated a couple years ago. We had to let our warehouse leases time out a little bit. But I told you guys, once the warehouse timed out on August 1st, that's it. We're going on a 50-year vacation. And since August 1st, we've been California, Los Angeles, San Francisco. We've been to Orlando for a couple of weeks. Now we're in New York for about a month. And we've only been home for 2 or 3 weeks since August 1st. And I'm telling you right now, the 50-year vacation is real. We're going to be out, we're going to be about, we're going to be getting it in. And that was the ultimate goal. And, off of eBay, I'm still going to make more money, more profit on vacation, hanging out, having fun than I ever did in the years previous. So, like, don't get it twisted. And I explained it on the podcast that released this past Friday with Benji. Like, the money is going up, the revenue is going up, the profit is going up. I'm going to be far away from home, and everything is going to be situated where everything can be done and, not handcuffed to the eBay machine. Because at the end of the day, all that money is green, and that's all that matters. And I explained a lot of it inside of that Benji podcast. Um, how do you do a keyword search? Keyword searching, you could do it a couple of ways. One is to search eBay and see what keywords are getting traction as far as sell-through goes, to see what keywords are getting traction as far as pricing goes. You can also go to the advanced pay-per-click promoted listing, and you can set up a mock promoted listing. Don't go all the way through with it. Just set up a mock promoted listing where it tells you how much you need to bid for specific keywords. So the higher the bid on the keyword, the more people are using it, the more valuable it is, the more it's converting. Don't go all the way through and submit the actual campaign, but just look at what the bids are and what people are paying for these specific keywords. Chat jumped again. Let me catch up. How are we doing on the thumbs up? Are we on pace to beat a record, or are you guys slacking? Because there's going to be about 3,000 people that come in and out of here in the next, few minutes while we're here. But it's a shame that we can't beat the 800 or the 850 likes. That's an easy win right there. And I've lost my place in the chat, guys. All right, I'm back. I'm back. So David again asked once again. I've already answered this question. So guys, the chat is about 2 minutes behind where I am. It's a little bit of a delay. So you got to just give me a couple seconds. So David asks, is using stock photos on eBay a bad thing? I already answered it about 15 minutes ago, but I'm going to answer it again. It is against policy to use stock photos on eBay that you do not have the express written concern or ownership of. Opus said, have you ever set an extremely aggressive goal for eBay and not hit it? Is it a fail if you crushed last year's numbers but fell short on the aggressive goal for the current year? So I always set extremely aggressive goals, and they're productive. They are action and productivity based. And I know so long as I do what I'm supposed to do, I should be able to hit the goal. If I smashed last year, it doesn't matter. A win is a win, so long as we're trending up and to the right. That's all that matters. Is it a dog eat dog world on Vinted? I keep getting. I mean, Vinted is tough. There's people on there that are sniping. It's going to be interesting to see what the landscape looks like. There's going to be a lot more product going on Vinted, and it's going to get flooded very quickly. So it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. So Gally says, why camera over phone for pictures? You said camera all day. First and foremost, the camera doesn't send or receive text messages to distract anybody. The camera doesn't receive phone calls to distract anybody. The camera doesn't have Instagram on it to distract anybody. A camera is for taking photos. A phone is for making phone calls and distracting oneself. Your phone will have software in it. So that way, when you take a picture, you too can look like Kim Kardashian or any kind of social media influencer that you wish to look like. It makes you look a lot better than you are. And it does the same thing when you're taking photos of clothing. It will change the color. It will change the contrasts. It will change the sharpness. And you got to be careful of that. So for productivity, no distractions. And for a truer photograph, we always use the camera. Also, the easeability of transferring the photos to the computer. There is no airdrop. There is no photos moving through space and hoping that they end up on the computer. You take out the SD card, you plug it in the computer. It takes 1 second, not 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 15 minutes, an hour. The photos are there. You upload directly from the camera card, and you live to have a happy eBay life. I accept returns from buyer pays shipping. When I receive the item back, is the correct thing to refund them the original shipping. Thank you for all you do. That is from Shane. So there are two types of returns. One is buyer's remorse, which is wrong size, doesn't fit, change mind, found a better price, no longer need. For those instances, you do not have to refund original shipping. For item not as described, which is item not as described, arrived broken, damaged, doesn't match photos or description. For those ones, you do have to refund the original shipping. This does not apply to the UK. The UK, you have to issue original shipping no matter what. And this does not apply if you do free shipping. If you do free shipping, you have to issue the shipping refund no matter what. So you have buyer's remorse returns where you do not have to issue a return on shipping, and you have item not as described returns where you do have to issue a return on shipping. Are keywords like cottage core, gorp, core better in titles or descriptions? They're probably going to be used better in titles. In your experience, when someone passes, do their items go up in value for a period of time? Sometimes they do, yes. When Kobe Bryant passed away, all of my items sold ridiculously fast. When George Michael passed away, all of my items sold ridiculously fast. But sometimes if the market is highly saturated, then nothing happens. So like when the front man for Linkin Park passed away, nothing happened. There was no bump because there's so much Linkin Park merchandise on eBay. Brian says, question, best flea market near Northeast Central Florida, St. Augustine area. Maybe the Jacksonville flea market. I've never been to that one, but a few folks have told me to go to that one. They also have some nice ones in Orlando. I don't know if you're close enough to it. And then they have Junk in the Trunk, which is in, I believe, DeLand, Florida. Not sure if it's in DeLand, but just search Junk in the Trunk. You should be able to find it there. We are having good time. Thank you, Andrea. We showed your show and tells today, so you had some great stuff. UK gang in the chat. Simon says camera for the win. Where are we? Has the eBay AI tool where it creates a full listing from a picture launched it in the USA. I'm in the UK and we don't have it yet. Interested if it's any good. That is going to come out very soon, probably in 2025. And that right there will probably change the landscape of the entire game on the eBay machine. Where are we? Is there a reseller ruler dupe for Canada because the original one isn't available to ship to Canada? Maybe send them a message and see if they will ship to Canada. It's a little bit pricey, but if you're willing to pay the shipping, then they may be inclined to ship it all the way to you. Dan said they missed the early party, noticed the YouTube icon red live circle and rushed to hit the like button. Shout out to Dance. They've been doing very well. Their accountability is absolutely fantastic on the accountability post every single day. So shout out to them. Shout out to all of you guys who have made it. And as you guys know, once I beat the live chat, it's a wrap. So yeah, Pete Rose clocked out yesterday. Do you recommend flat rate or based on where the buyer lives? I think flat rate's the way to go. I think calculated shipping can inflate what the shipping is, thus turning off buyers. A lot of people saying Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame. Jules says, how often do you increase shipping? I increase shipping when I'm no longer, when I start losing money on shipping. That's when I increase shipping. So Brian Drew has a great point. Great point from Brian Drew. Pete Rose has a lifetime ban. That is true. And Brian says Pete Rose's lifetime ban is over. Technically, you're correct. Is Vinted Pro UK definitely out today? Where did you hear this news? It has been posted in the group. Vinted Pro is out. Deborah says no Hall of Fame for Pete Rose. Okay. What do you think Pete Rose jersey with tobacco juice stains is worth? Probably a pretty penny if it's a game used one. Justin says you got to go to the Bronx and Yonkers thrifts. We went to the Bronx on Friday, right? Friday. We saw the Yankees versus the Pirates. Um, why can't I ship most of my toys to the UK? Got off the phone with eBay and he said certain items with certain titles don't qualify. Yeah, so every single country is going to be different on what they allow into the country. Sometimes it is safety regulations, sometimes it is product or material regulations. So like for Italy, they don't allow like leather goods in. So it's either going to be for safety or for what the material, the makeup is. Are keywords the same as word spamming, words that are similar, not random? No, that's going to be different. And keyword spamming is a policy violation, and you can get your listing taken down if you are doing keyword spamming. Guys, remember, once I beat the chat, it is a wrap. Reseller project made it in. We got you early on the shock drop. I didn't tell Michelle we'd be on early, but hey, I told you guys a couple of weeks ago, if you want to catch the live, turn on notifications. I want to be here and talk to as many different kinds of people as possible. And if I go live at the same time, I'm only going to see the same faces. So I'm going to go live at all separate times, turn on the notification. We're going live early, late, middle of the night, middle of the day. It doesn't matter. Is there any way we can do, is there anything we can do other than find higher price items to combat growing shipping prices? So it's going to be difficult. Like shipping a Life is Good shirt for $9.99 and charging Ground Advantage $12.50. That's going to be tough. So it is definitely something that we need to pay attention to. Brian says that is a green screen, isn't it? This is the latest and greatest technology in green screen. It offers, panoramic views. So yeah, the production level is going to go way up on these videos thanks to you fine folks who check all of them out. This is a fine green screen of New York City, Midtown, New York City. What are the top 3 must-watch videos on Patreon for people who have been selling less than 6 months? Good question. Let's see. I think title structure is a very good one. I think the zip code call is a very good one. And let's go with the techonomics video. Those are all good ones that we should all know. Title structure, zip code call, techonomics. Watch those. Brian said the clouds are not moving at all. We got to up our green screen. We got to up our green screen. The clouds are not moving on the green screen. Let me just, all right, maybe it's fixed. Peter says, when is your 50-year vacation going towards Chicago? I don't know, maybe in 2025, we'll head over there. We got to see Nina. Anxiety advertisement, finally catching a live. Let's go. Did you say you started selling on eBay in 2008? You started in a recession. So if I started now, I would be okay in this economy. So I did start in a recession. I got laid off from my job. I was a single dad. I think that reselling in eBay is very unique, where when the times are tough, the economy is in a recession, people still want to look fly, people still want to buy great stuff, but they want it at a discount, which we're able to offer. I think when people do have a lot of money, then they just buy more great stuff. So I think that reselling is recession proof. Is it going to be like a lot of people are used to who started in 2020 or during the COVID era where money was just raining down from the sky? Absolutely not. And a lot of those people that did start then, you can see them. They're crying the blues. They're having trouble. They're on the verge of going out of business. They're getting part-time jobs. They're filling out job applications because they've overextended themselves. They've over leveraged themselves. And that's what happens. And we have been cautiously talking about that in the group for the last 5 years. And the most amount of hate I ever got on a YouTube video was on a podcast where I told people that they need to be careful. These COVID times are not real. The money raining from the sky is not real. This is not forever. This is a fairy tale. Get as much money as you can, but do not over leverage yourself. And the people that did over leverage themselves are filling out job applications. They're getting jobs and they're going out of business. So the money is not raining from the sky anymore. This is the reality. This is what reselling really looks like. And if you've overextended yourself, you're going to have a difficult time doing this. Where are we? So Scum Deluxe says that I was on the treadmill the day after I had my gallbladder removed, and that's absolutely the truth. I hit 10 miles a day after the gallbladder was removed. You got to do it. You got to do it. What pace and incline do you walk on the treadmill during the call? So the incline is flat. The pace is 3.5, 3.5 miles an hour. I'm not on there running, but I'm not on there, walking like I'm 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 moving, but I'm not running on it. Zebu says you should go to different countries and try to find deals. That would be great content. That's on the list. So we went to California, we cleaned up. We went out here on Saturday, we cleaned up. We're going to go to a flea market on Saturday this week if weather permits. We're going to try to hit the Meadowland flea market and we're going to clean up over there. That's all we do, my friend. How do you fulfill orders from the road? I have somebody that ships back home. All right, the chat jumped. Once you guys are once I beat the chat, it's a wrap, guys. Once I beat the chat, it is a wrap. Chat jumps. So you guys were lucky. You guys are lucky. I almost beat you guys. Jameson in chat, how you doing? He saw us when he came to visit Orlando. Good guy over there. Sarah's on here. Good to see her. How do you set up a mock promoted listing? You just go through the motion of doing it without actually clicking submit and making the commitment. How do you find the top sellers on eBay? There is no list of top sellers that says, hey, this is this person. They did used to have the listing quality report, which was a private report that eBay did used to send out to sellers and let you download. But they don't have the listing quality report for many people anymore. You can go to a website called topratedseller.com, and that is based on the amount of feedback that you have received as a seller. And the highest that I ever saw my store get was like 411 in the entire world. So I was beating people like Reebok and Adidas, little old me from South Florida. But like, there's no like list put out by eBay that says, hey, these are the top 10 sellers. You just have to look at the comps and see, who's on there a lot, who's selling a lot of stuff, things like that. I run 2 different eBay stores from the same address. Does eBay penalize me for having multiple stores from a single address or IP? I have temporarily changed my mailing address. No, they do not. But if one store falls below standard, it could impact the other store as well. What do you think the outlook is for vintage brick and mortar stores? I have a vintage brick and mortar store. I've had it for 6 years. So far, so good. I think it's always going to have its place. I think people will always like to go in and shop and try stuff on and like the experience. I don't think, all brick and mortar is going to disappear. Can you do Canada only call? It would be really nice to have. If people want it, we will do it. If people want a Canada only call, we will do it. It's whatever the people want. That's what we do. People want a UK clothing sellers call. I made it. People want a live selling call. I made it. You want to call about selling tiddlywinks and checker games? I will make it. Whatever you guys want, I will make the call. Where are we? What is your best find this week? Mine is a Filson tin cloth vest at Goodwill. If you watch the video I put out 2 weeks ago, I found was it this week? Yeah, 2 weeks ago. If you watch the video I put out 2 Mondays ago, I found a bunch of Filson. The best find from this week, what's the best find? Maybe a leather John Barbados jacket for $5. That's probably a good one. Do keywords ever lose their effectiveness from overuse? It absolutely does. Some keywords come in and out of style, so you got to be up on the trends. What's the craziest thing you've ever tried to optimize? I don't understand that one. Put that one again. First time catching the live. I'm a new store subscriber. What are the top tips for optimizing my store? Everything that we talk about here is a top tip. I don't talk about non-top tips. So that's like a loaded question. There's a lot to do. Make sure that you understand title structure. Make sure that you understand the market. Make sure you understand your numbers. If you're using promoted listings, make sure you understand those. Make sure you understand all the rules to the game that eBay has put forth. If you want to win the game, you have to know the rules to the game. Daniel Clark, shout out to Frank Fritz. Rest in peace, American Pickers. That's right. I bet the show American Pickers, Mike Wolf, Frank Fritz, I bet that got a lot of resellers into the game along with Pawn Stars. So yeah, Frank Fritz, he passed away this week as well. So we've had some big ones this week. We've had Makembe Mutombo, we've had Pete Rose, Frank Fritz. Good show. I used to watch that show. What is the favorite part about being on a 50-year vacation? I don't know, balling out and still making a lot of money without working as hard. That's probably pretty good. Favorite part of New York City so far? Did you get a New York slice? I've had several New York slices. What is my favorite part about New York City? I just like the action. I like the moving, popping, and shaking. I like everybody moving. I like that part, but I think like my favorite place in New York City would be, I don't know. I either like around Rockefeller Center, Radio City. I think that's pretty cool. Um, Central Park is pretty cool, and I like being down by the World Trade Center. I like the neighborhoods down there. They have the Double RL store, and they have a bunch of cool stores down there, so I like that. Um, just came in for a like. Salute, appreciate that. What's your favorite thing about reselling? Multiplying the money. Is it necessary to promote on social media? It is not. When someone returns an item, what eBay fees are returned to me? Promoted listings fees on the original sale. So when you do issue the refund, eBay will tell you and they'll give you a breakdown on what was returned on the right hand side, and it always says prorated amount, which means you are returning only the money that you got. eBay is returning the fees and the promoted listing, so you don't lose any money as far as that goes. What amount do I say is a lowball offer from the original price? I mean, that's subjective and up to you. I want all the offers. I don't care if it's a lowball offer. Send me all the offers. I'm countering. Um, Ben High says, when is the New York meetup? I don't know, man. I don't know. I'll be here for a little while more. So if people want to meet up, send me the message and we'll meet up. Jersey Flea Market is right around the corner. I'm gonna try to hit Meadowlands on Saturday, Ben. Justin Rivera says the clouds are definitely moving. Good, because we fixed the screen. So I just had to tap the screen and the clouds are moving very good. How would you recommend researching which golf courses perform best on golf polos? I know about the Grove. That is a great one. That's Michael Jordan's. But there doesn't seem to be any other specific courses that outperform others. There are. Fisher Island does great. Sea Island does great. Seminole Golf Course does great. Pebble Beach does great. There's a lot of good ones. So maybe just search, like Peter Millar, sort high to low and see what golf courses do good. Search Callaway high to low. Search all the golf brands high to low and see what golf courses are commanding a premium. What traits? Chat jumped. I had you guys on the ropes. Chat jumped. Where are we? What traits do you look for in employees? Do you want to work? Do you need to work? Some people don't want to work. If you don't want to work, no problem. Some people don't need to work. Maybe they got a sugar daddy or a sugar mama and they don't need to work. I look for, do you want to work? Do you need to work first and foremost? Vegas Nick says they've been in the game for 25 years and have heard so many other YouTubers say you are the best. Solid advice all the way. Well, I appreciate that, Vegas Nick. Congratulations on 25 years. Salute on that. That's a veteran in the game right now. What is your inventory breakdown between vintage and modern? When I was on eBay World Domination, most of the present day contemporary items went to eBay. Most of the vintage went to my brick and mortar store. Like I said, I've had a brick and mortar store for 6 years now. If you want to follow it and learn vintage, the Instagram handle is _Coral Springs. Where are we? What is your favorite place so far to visit? I think they're all pretty cool. Sega or Nintendo? Probably Nintendo for us. Maestro finally caught a live. Shout out to you. My favorite research technique is sitting in Starbucks and looking where people are wearing. Yeah, in New York City, that's it. Like everyone is wearing stuff that we're going to be wearing in 2 or 3 years from now. So absolutely. Fell below standard until November, getting 0 views on items. Any suggestion? First of all, don't fall below standard. Second of all, you need to sell more items successfully to get your percent back in a range where you are no longer below standard. So you need to run aggressive sales. You need to run aggressive coupons, maybe run aggressive auctions. The thing about falling below standard is You need to get more than 300 transactions to get yourself on a smaller window for evaluation and not the 12-month window. And it's just a matter of like, how quickly do you want to get out of it is going to mean how much money do you want to lose to get out of it. And, you know, if you have 250 sales, lose money on 50 sales and shorten that evaluation window, have some of those older defects fall out, and don't make the same mistakes. My 7-year-old Canon ELPH doesn't read the memory card. I've tried 3 different ones, no damage or issues. Any idea what that could be? Maybe try a new camera card. If you've already tried that, sell the Canon ELPH for parts on eBay. They go for a great premium. Give me 50% because I'm part of the reason why it goes for the great premium, and then just buy a new one. Do you have a call where you audit people's eBay stores? We do store reviews all the time in the group. If that's what you're looking for, we could do that. Do you have a blanket percentage for promoted listings or different percent based on category and item? If so, is there a sweet spot to promote? The sweet spot to promote is on an individual basis, whatever you can afford to do. Do not promote yourself out of business. There are a lot of people who don't understand their numbers and are promoting themselves out of business, so don't be one of them. For me, with a larger inventory, listing many items per day, I had a blanket promoted listings. It wasn't onesie twosies. If you have a smaller store with a less aggressive listing goal, you can do the onesie twosie model. But if you have a larger store, most policies need to be blanket policies. Where are we? So Rob says, cannot sign up for UK Vinted Pro while you still have active orders. You have to wait until all the orders are completed and empty your balance first. So shout out to Rob for that. How long did it take you to make 1 million? How long did you do it on eBay? So in 2019, did $1.2 million. So that would be 10 or 11 years since I started. I started in 2008. What would happen when your store fall behind? I don't understand that question. McNally said they like the stream and got a sale. I'm trying to tell you guys. How many people are in the chat? Any chance of getting one of your videos with Gary V? I don't know. I'm supposed to go over there in the next couple of weeks while I'm up here, so we'll see what happens. I had a first sold an Oakley software jacket for 85. Oakley software is tremendous. Buyer initiated return, sent out a poly bag with just the label and small thank you card inside. Has this happened? It has happened once or twice, not very often. I've always called eBay and I've always talked to them, and they've always made me whole, and they've always given my money back every single time. At the flea, how do you determine if you're buying from another eBay seller's junk that they are offloading? Don't buy junk. You have to know if items are good or not good. And if another eBay seller is offloading fantastic stuff, I will love to buy it any day of the week. So, you know, we have to distinguish junk from not junk, whether it's an eBay seller or somebody else, it doesn't matter. Can you do a video on wholesaling, like the process picking, etc.? I could put that one into the mix. Is there a call that goes into keywords? Is there a call that goes into blazers? We have tons of calls about keywords. We have tons of files about keywords. There are no other place anywhere on the internet that talks more about keywords. No other place more comprehensive amount of information on the internet about reselling other than the group. We have everything. Karen said they started a year ago on doing eBay, but was watching too many other channels and made them too afraid to start. But now I'm just watching you. Like you said, no disrespect to others. Yeah, eBay and reselling is, you know, it's easy. It's easily to get very overwhelmed. It's easy to get you know, psyched out, but you just got to go start your listings, get started. That's all. Chris Christopherson, they're saying clocked out. Okay, we got guys clocking out left and right over here. What does a PO box or offsite mailbox make sense? If you want to, I guess, shield your home address from returns, that could be helpful. I've always used the PO box or my warehouse address personally. What are some do's and don'ts you learned before going to New York? I don't know. New York is fine. I've got no problems here. Did the defect rate increase when you hired your first employee? It did not, because I was always making the final say on listings going live. So I always pushed the blue button. I always proofread it. No listings went live without me looking at it first. When you open up your shop in New York, can we get VIP? I'm not going to have a shop in New York City. What's the craziest thing you've ever tried to optimize? I don't understand that question. Thoughts on Depop? I've never sold on Depop personally, but the money is still green over there. And so long as the money is green, I got no problems with that. Where are we? How about linens call for blankets, sheets, and pillows? We can have anything you guys want. We have an antiques and collectibles call. Carl is a fantastic resource about everything pretty much. He's been reselling for over 40 years. If you guys want to talk about sheets, linens, we could talk about it. I'm with it. I am with it. We got nothing, no problems with that. Any plans to visit Texas? Probably in 2025. Do you think people pay attention to what's written in the description, spending time putting a lot of detail? Is it worth it? I don't think a lot of detail is worth it. I think putting the accurate information that the buyer needs to make an informed buying decision, that's what we need to do. When getting offers on eBay, are you limited to 3 on one item? No, you get more than 3 offers. You used to get 3, but now you get more than that. Are you going to do a few videos helping local New York City resellers like the one in your first video that you did with the woman in Florida? I'm open to it. If there's people over here that got big problems, I'm open to helping them and seeing what they got going on. We're going to go to a lady's house on Thursday, help her out for a little bit. I don't know if I'm going to videotape it, but I'm going to go over there and help her get her death pile processed and listed and rock and roll. So Thursday's tomorrow. So I'll be over there doing that with her tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to videotape it. I haven't talked to her about that, but just going over there to help. How important is it to maintain your store categories on your eBay store? Not entirely important. People shop ebay.com. They don't go to your store and shop by your categories. Missouri, maybe in 2025. When do you consider a large store? I think like 10,000 items is a large store. That's me personally. Ever had a fallout with someone you used to get inventory from? For me, I go with the person that brings me the best items for the best price, and it's strictly business. It's not emotional. Jenny says, with Techonomics, do you recommend an accountant or do you suggest a spreadsheet to track your numbers? If you don't have a good understanding of your numbers, definitely get an accountant. Definitely always speak to an accountant if you are unsure. And we should all be tracking everything on a spreadsheet. Is there a way to send an offer to a buyer who didn't accept my counter offer? If they are still a watcher, you may be able to send an offer to the watcher. If not, send them a message and reach out and say, hey, send me an offer for this. Do you have to have an eBay store to offer coupons? You do. Are you going to check out the Elephant Trunk Flea Market in Connecticut, largest outdoor flea market in New England? And it's a good time of year. How far away is Connecticut? I'm not sure because we don't have a car. So how far is it away for us to get there? How do I deal with new tag items as far as having to wash them? You don't have to wash new tag items. The washing items as part of the pre-owned clothing policy. It is not part of the new clothing policy. If you have time, check out Canal Street. We've been there before. It's very fun. What about washing hats? You can wash hats if they are pre-owned. Why is it so hard to photograph solid black clothing? The color always looks washed out if I get up close. I use a gray background. It acts as a gray card to stabilize the photograph. Always worked great for me. What price am I looking at for a public accountant? You definitely have to go on the Google machine for that one. They're all going to price differently. Had you guys on the ropes. You guys are finished. You guys are on the ropes. I'm jamming right now. Did you have items you could not find when they sold? How did you handle? So everything for me was categorized by date. Date never changes. Date never lies. Date is not a SKU that can mistakenly get brought over. So we were finding our items. If you cannot find an item, reach out to the buyer, explain to them, maybe offer a, consolation prize of a great coupon or, send an offer on something that they like. Probably going to have to cancel the item for being out of stock and get a defect, unfortunately. But what we should do first and foremost is make sure that we are assessing our procedure to make sure that this doesn't happen a lot. What keywords would you use for a Sean John velour jacket due to the circumstances? Whatever keyword is pertinent to the item. Hip hop, baggy, oversized, some of those can work very good. What's the best way to not get caught up if you're years behind? What's the best way to get caught up if you're years behind on taxes? Speak to a tax professional. Are you going to the bins in Queens? I don't know, maybe. We might. Um, if you were to restart your reselling career right now, how would you utilize Whatnot? Um, I would do the exact same thing. I would just sell on eBay. eBay has all the traffic for me personally. Um, have you ever cornered a market, niche, etc.? How did you do it? I've cornered many markets. I have destroyed many brands. I have brought the price down on a tremendous amount of items because I was able to secure those items cheaper. And I don't care. It's not my problem that other people can't sell them and make a profit. It's my problem. I have a selling problem. I need to sell as many items as possible. And if I need to drop the floor on particular items where I can control the market, I have absolutely zero issue with that. If you weren't the greatest used clothing seller of all time, what would you be doing as a full-time career? I'm not sure. Um, my mom said I would either be the president, in prison, or a millionaire. So luckily, I've selected one of those. Um, what's the number one dead giveaway that someone is a reseller shopping? Probably looking up on their phone every single item because they didn't do their comps and front load their information. So do you share a spreadsheet in the group when I join? We have when you join, make an introduction post, and I'll give you a ton of helpful links to get you started. Um, you could take the commuter train to Connecticut, get out on Grand Central or Penn Station. Okay, very good. Um, how many old ladies have jammed elbows in your ribs at the flea or the bins? None. I'm very respectful. I go with the rules, and there are rules to the flea markets. There's rules to the bins. If someone's on a deal, if someone's looking for something, I keep it moving. It wasn't for me, but that's it. That's everybody. Looks like we have over 400 people. I have beat the chat once again. Week number 49, world champion of beating the chat. If you are in here late, you do have a question on replay, definitely post in the comments below, and I will knock out every single question that you guys have in the comments. We have Sean with one more at the buzzer. What do you recommend we do with items that have not sold on live auctions after a few shows? Have a garage sale, have a flea market, sell them to another reseller who has different metrics. Donate them, take them behind the barn, Facebook Marketplace, Macari, all of that stuff. But we have beat the chat. We had one more for extra credit. Everyone drop a comment on all of my videos for the algorithm. I don't care if you even put for the algorithm. Put for the algorithm. We have Karn here. How you doing, Karn? How you doing? I hope Arwen's doing well over there. Good to see you. Hopefully we see you guys in the UK. Congratulations on everything that you guys have accomplished in the last couple of weeks. So appreciate everybody for hanging in. Non-stop questions, non-stop answers. That's how we roll. Drop a comment on all of my videos for the algorithm. Drop a thumbs up for the algorithm, and I appreciate everybody. Thank you as always. Be great.